There comes a moment in life when your spirit can no longer survive inside spaces that keep shrinking your worth. This is that moment. Stop scrolling. What brought you here was not random timing. Heaven has interrupted your path because something massive is shifting around your work, your finances, and the direction of your future. Right now, unseen doors are moving, conversations are unfolding without your knowledge, opportunities are being positioned in places you cannot yet see. And the pressure you have been carrying at work was never meant to destroy you. It was revealing that your current environment can no longer contain where you are being led next. Stay until the end, because before this message is over, you are going to understand why your spirit has felt restless lately, why your motivation has changed, why familiar routines suddenly feel heavy, and why heaven has placed your career under divine reconstruction. Listen carefully, every exhausted morning, every silent frustration, every moment you gave more than you received, every time you stayed loyal in places that failed to honor your value, none of it was ignored. Heaven recorded every sacrifice, and tonight something begins to move. You can already feel it, can't you? That strange pull in your chest, that growing awareness telling you something is ending, that quiet inner voice whispering, you were made for more than this. Not ignore that voice. It is not anxiety, it is alignment. Your spirit already senses the shift before your eyes can see the evidence. Stay with me, because the atmosphere around your provision is changing right now. A supernatural adjustment is taking place over your career path, and once this movement fully activates, the version of you that tolerated being undervalued will never return again. This is why your current work environment suddenly feels too tight for your soul. Your calling has outgrown the space, and heaven is preparing to release what comes next. Type "I am ready" in the comments right now if you can feel something changing around your work life already. Do it with intention, because your response is more than words. It is agreement with the transformation that is unfolding over your future. Something sacred is happening tonight. Do not scroll away from it. There are moments when heaven moves quietly, and then there are moments when heaven moves with urgency. This is one of those moments. Your financial future is being repositioned. The season where you carried excellence without recognition is reaching its expiration point. The weight you have been carrying was not punishment, it was preparation. Heaven was building endurance inside you before releasing responsibility into your hands, and now the transition has begun. You may not see it fully yet, but spiritually, your career has already entered a new season. That is why your tolerance disappeared. You no longer have peace settling for environments that drain your gift. You no longer feel comfortable shrinking yourself to fit into rooms that only celebrate average. You no longer feel fulfilled pretending your value is small. That discomfort is confirmation. The old season cannot hold you anymore. Stay until the end, because what is coming next will explain why certain opportunities delayed, why recognition seemed absent, and why heaven allowed you to walk through seasons where your effort appeared invisible. There was a reason, a divine reason. You were being observed in hidden places, every time you chose integrity instead of bitterness, every time you remained disciplined while others gave up, every time you carried responsibility without applause. Heaven counted it all. Nothing was wasted, not one tear, not one prayer, not one exhausting day. Even when nobody acknowledged your consistency, heaven did, and now the reward begins to move toward you. Do not scroll. You are closer than you realize to a breakthrough that changes the trajectory of your finances completely. There are people about to encounter your name who have never met you before. There are opportunities already forming beyond your current position. There are doors preparing to open that your current environment could never produce. This is why your spirit feels unsettled. Your next season is calling you forward. Stay here, because what you are hearing tonight is not empty motivation. It is revelation. Heaven is exposing the truth behind your exhaustion. You were never meant to remain stuck in cycles that diminished your value. You were created for aligned work, recognized gifts, meaningful provision, and opportunities that honor the weight of what you carry. Type "My season is changing" in the comments if you believe heaven is repositioning your future right now. The moment you declare it, something inside you begins to awaken, because faith responds before evidence appears. And what heaven is preparing for you cannot be blocked by delay anymore. Listen carefully now. There is a reason this message found you today instead of yesterday. Timing matters. The unseen realm moves with precision. And tonight, your spirit was meant to hear this exact truth. You are not falling behind. You are being redirected. There is a difference. People assumed your silence meant weakness. They assumed your patience meant limitation. They assumed your loyalty meant you would tolerate less forever. But heaven knew the truth. You were being refined for greater responsibility. A person who carries lasting provision must first develop the character to sustain it. That is why your path looked slower than others. God was building depth inside you while others chased appearances. And now the foundation is ready. The shift begins here. Do not leave before the end, because the next revelation will explain why your current position started feeling emotionally exhausting even before circumstances changed physically. Your soul recognized the ending before your mind understood it. Something inside you already knew. You cannot stay where your purpose no longer fits. That inner tension you have been carrying lately was never random. It was the collision between who you have been and who you are becoming. Your spirit has been standing at the doorway of transition while your physical reality still looked unchanged. That is why ordinary tasks suddenly began draining you. That is why your energy shifted. That is why your heart no longer connects to environments that once felt manageable. Your soul recognized the change before your circumstances did. And heaven has been waiting for this exact moment to reveal it to you. Stay until the end. Because what you are about to understand will change the way you view every season of struggle you survived. Listen closely. There were nights you questioned yourself, moments you wondered if your effort even mattered, times you felt invisible while less qualified people advanced ahead of you. But heaven never measured your value by public recognition. Heaven measured your consistency when nobody was watching. Every silent act of discipline, every responsibility you carried without complaint, every moment you remained faithful while internally exhausted, it all became evidence, not evidence against you, evidence for your elevation. This is why your breakthrough has weight behind it. It was built through endurance. And now the atmosphere around your career is beginning to respond. Do not scroll away now. Because something powerful happens when a person finally reaches the limit of what they are willing to tolerate beneath their calling. A shift activates. The old version of you starts collapsing. You stop begging to be valued. You stop shrinking your gifts. You stop chasing approval from people committed to misunderstanding you. And suddenly, heaven begins redirecting your path toward rooms that recognize what you carry naturally. This is the transition you are entering now. Type "I receive alignment" in the comments if you refuse to settle for less than your true worth any longer. The moment you declare it, your spirit comes into agreement with the future already moving toward you. You were never created to spend your life surviving environments that only tolerated your presence while benefiting from your gift. No, you were meant to build, lead, influence, expand, and walk in provision without constantly fighting to prove your value. That is why the pressure became so intense recently. Heaven was pushing you out of limitation. Stay until the end, because the next truth explains why certain doors remained closed no matter how hard you tried to force them open. Some opportunities were blocked for your protection. If certain promotions had happened too early, they would have trapped you inside smaller destinies. If some doors had opened, you would have settled in places beneath your assignment. If certain people had fully accepted you, you might never have discovered how much greater your future actually was. So heaven delayed what your emotions wanted in order to protect what your purpose required. Read that again in your spirit. The rejection was not proof of your lack, it was redirection. And now the season changes. You can feel it already, that strange mixture of peace and urgency, that growing certainty that your life is preparing to pivot. That inner awareness saying, something bigger is coming. Not ignore it. Your spirit recognizes movement before your eyes witness manifestation. This is divine realignment. At this very moment, unseen adjustments are unfolding around your career path. People are being repositioned. Doors are opening quietly. Connections are forming. Timelines are shifting. And heaven is orchestrating it with precision. Nothing about this transformation is accidental, not even your exhaustion. Because exhaustion became the final confirmation that your current environment could no longer nourish your next level. You outgrew it. Stay with me. Because what comes next may be the confirmation your spirit has been searching for this entire time. Scripture says, the gift of a person makes room for them and brings them before great people. That means your value was never meant to remain hidden forever. Real gifts cannot stay buried permanently. Eventually, alignment pulls them into visibility. And your moment is approaching faster than you think. There are people about to appreciate what others overlooked. There are environments about to reward what others ignored. There are opportunities preparing to compensate you at levels your current situation could never produce. This is why heaven would not allow you to stay comfortable. Comfort would have delayed destiny, so the restlessness increased. The dissatisfaction intensified. The pressure grew heavier, not to break you, but to move you. Do not scroll. You are hearing this because heaven is exposing the deeper truth behind your struggle. You were never abandoned. You were being positioned. Every difficult season strengthened something inside you that success alone could never produce. Your discernment sharpened. Your resilience deepened. Your standards changed. Your understanding matured. You became someone capable of carrying greater responsibility. And now the reward begins approaching your life. Type "My breakthrough is near" in the comments if you believe your season is finally shifting. There is power in agreement. And tonight, heaven is listening carefully to what your spirit chooses to accept. Listen now. The financial pressure you experienced was not meant to define your identity forever. Temporary struggle was never your permanent assignment. You are stepping into a season where your work and your worth begin aligning together. A season where provision flows differently. A season where opportunities arrive strategically. A season where recognition no longer feels impossible. And the moment this shift fully unfolds, you will look back at your old life and realize heaven was guiding you the entire time, even through the confusion, even through the waiting, even through the silence, especially through the silence, because some of heaven's greatest movements happen quietly before they become visible publicly. Stay until the end. What comes next is the revelation that finally explains why your spirit kept whispering that you were meant for more long before you saw any evidence around you. Long before circumstances started changing, your spirit already knew. That quiet voice inside you, the one that kept refusing to settle, the one that kept whispering, "This cannot be the final version of my life." That voice was never delusion. It was destiny trying to wake you up. Do not scroll. Because the next truth may be the confirmation that changes how you see your entire journey. You were not created merely to survive. You were not born just to endure pressure endlessly. You were not designed to spend your life begging for recognition from environments committed to minimizing your value. You were created to walk in alignment. And alignment changes everything. When heaven aligns your path correctly, struggle no longer consumes all your energy. Your gifts begin connecting with the right people. Doors open without constant force. Provision starts flowing with purpose instead of panic. That is the season approaching your life now. Stay until the end, because this next revelation explains why your spirit became so emotionally exhausted even when you continued performing well externally. Your soul was tired of functioning beneath its assignment. There is a difference between being tired from hard work and being drained from misalignment. Hard work can fulfill you, misalignment empties you, and many of you listening right now have been carrying exhaustion that sleep alone could never fix, because your spirit has been grieving a life it knows no longer fits. But tonight, heaven is interrupting that cycle. The old season is breaking, you can feel it, that heaviness lifting slowly from your chest, that strange clarity rising inside your mind, that growing confidence telling you not to give up now. This is not coincidence. Something sacred is moving around your future. At this very moment, pathways are opening that you cannot yet see physically. Conversations are happening beyond your awareness. Opportunities are approaching quietly. The timing of your breakthrough is drawing closer every second. And the reason heaven waited until now is because your character finally became strong enough to carry what is coming next. A weak foundation cannot sustain lasting elevation. So heaven developed you privately before revealing you publicly. That hidden season mattered. Every lonely moment mattered. Every sacrifice mattered. Every tear mattered. Every delay mattered. Nothing was wasted. Type "Heaven prepared me" in the comments if you believe your struggles were shaping you for something greater. You need to understand this deeply. The world often rewards noise. Heaven rewards readiness. That is why some people rise quickly and collapse just as fast. But when heaven builds a person carefully, the result lasts, and your preparation season is producing permanence. Do not leave before the end, because what comes next may unlock the final confirmation your spirit has been waiting to receive. Listen carefully now. Your breakthrough is not only financial. Yes, provision is coming. Yes, opportunities are shifting. Yes, recognition is approaching. But something even deeper is happening. Your identity is transforming. The version of you that believed you had to overwork just to deserve basic respect is dying. The version of you that accepted being overlooked is fading. The version of you that tolerated environments starving your spirit is disappearing permanently. And a new version of you is emerging, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more aligned version, one that understands their value before the world confirms it. This is why heaven allowed the pressure to intensify recently. Pressure reveals identity. And through every difficult season, your spirit was learning a truth that changes everything. Your worth was never determined by the room you were standing in. A diamond remains valuable even inside darkness, and your gift remained powerful even when unrecognized. That is why heaven never panicked over your delay. Your timing was being protected. Stay here, because this next part explains why certain people suddenly began distancing themselves from you as your season started changing. Not everyone can follow you into alignment. Some people only connected with the version of you that doubted yourself. Some environments only benefited from your lack of boundaries. Some systems depended on you remaining undervalued. But once your spirit awakened, once your standards shifted, once your confidence started returning, the old connections could no longer hold you comfortably. And that separation was necessary. You cannot step fully into your next season while still emotionally attached to environments assigned to your past. The chapter is ending now. You can feel it. The uncertainty is fading. The fear is weakening. The vision is becoming clearer. And heaven is calling you forward. Scripture declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? This new thing is already beginning around your life. The seeds were planted during your hardest seasons. Now the harvest approaches." Do not scroll away from this moment, because there are people listening right now who are standing only one decision away from complete transformation, one act of courage away from alignment, one season away from the breakthrough they prayed for during nights nobody else saw. And you may be one of them. Type, "I will not settle again," in the comments if you are ready to walk fully into the future heaven prepared for you. Your declaration matters. Because transformation begins the moment your spirit agrees with what heaven has already spoken over your life. Listen closely now. There is a reason this message kept pulling your attention back. Your spirit recognized truth. Deep down, you already knew your current situation could not be permanent. You already sensed greater opportunities waiting beyond the horizon. You already felt the shift beginning long before this video confirmed it. And tonight, heaven is simply revealing what your soul detected first. Your season of being overlooked is ending. The version of you that spent years doubting your own value is reaching its final chapter. Can you feel it? That inner awakening, that rising conviction, that powerful sense that your life is preparing to move in a completely different direction. This is not imagination. This is transition. Stay until the end. Because what you are about to hear may become the moment everything finally clicks inside your spirit. For too long, you carried greatness inside environments that only had the capacity to tolerate you, not celebrate you. You gave loyalty to places that fed on your effort while starving your confidence. You stayed patient in rooms where your excellence became normal to people who no longer respected the weight of what you carried. But heaven saw it all, every hidden burden, every silent frustration. Every moment you smiled while internally exhausted, none of it escaped divine attention. And now the shift begins accelerating. Do not scroll, because there is something important you need to understand before your next season fully opens. Sometimes heaven allows discomfort to become unbearable because comfort would keep you trapped somewhere too small for your destiny. Read that carefully. If your current environment still felt satisfying, you might never move. If the pressure had not increased, you might never seek alignment. If your spirit had not become restless, you might remain attached to seasons already expired. So heaven permitted the discomfort not to punish you, but to release you. That restlessness was rescue. And many of you listening right now are standing at the edge of the biggest transition of your entire life. Stay with me, because what comes next explains why your spirit kept sensing elevation while your physical reality still looked delayed. Your breakthrough was developing invisibly before appearing visibly. That is how heaven often works. Roots grow underground before fruit appears above ground. And your roots were strengthening this entire time, while others mocked your patience, while people misunderstood your silence, while circumstances made it look like nothing was changing. Heaven was building infrastructure beneath your future. The delay had purpose. Type "My delay had purpose" in the comments if you believe your waiting season was preparing you for greater things. Tonight is not about empty motivation. This is activation. Something inside you is waking up again. The confidence you lost is returning. The vision you buried is resurfacing. The courage you suppressed is rising back to the surface. And heaven is breathing life into dreams you almost abandoned. Do not leave before the end, because the next revelation explains why your spirit never fully connected to ordinary living. No matter how hard you tried to settle, you were never designed for survival mode permanently. You were built for impact. There is something powerful about a person who remains faithful while unseen. Heaven trusts that kind of person differently, because character developed in hidden seasons creates stability in elevated seasons, and your hidden season built strength inside you. That strength is about to matter. Listen carefully. There are opportunities approaching your life that require the exact resilience your struggles produced. The pressure you survived was training. The disappointments sharpened your discernment. The delays deepened your wisdom. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Pain changed you. Waiting changed you. Silence changed you. But it changed you into someone stronger, someone prepared, someone ready. And now heaven is beginning to remove limitations that once restricted your path. You can already feel certain mindsets breaking. Fear no longer controls you the same way. Approval no longer satisfies you the same way. Small thinking no longer fits you the same way. Because your spirit has seen glimpses of something greater. Do not scroll. There are people listening right now who have been praying for confirmation, and this message is becoming the answer they begged heaven to send. Maybe that person is you. Maybe this is the night your perspective changes permanently. Because once a person truly realizes their value, they become impossible to contain inside spaces built beneath their calling. And that realization is happening inside you now. Stay until the end, because what comes next will reveal why certain disappointments nearly broke your heart before ultimately protecting your future. Some relationships had to end. Some doors had to close. Some opportunities had to collapse. Not because heaven abandoned you, but because your destiny required separation from what could not grow with you. A person cannot fully enter alignment while dragging expired seasons behind them. So heaven removed what no longer matched your future, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. And now the rebuilding season begins. You are stepping into a chapter where your gifts no longer remain hidden. A chapter where your effort connects with recognition. A chapter where provision arrives with greater stability and peace. The struggle did not win. The delay did not destroy you. The silence did not erase your purpose. If anything, it refined you. Type "I survived for a reason" in the comments if you believe your hardest seasons were preparing you for something bigger. Your words matter tonight, because heaven responds to agreement. And your spirit is coming into agreement with a future far greater than the life you once thought you had to settle for. Listen carefully now. The next season of your life will require courage, because alignment often demands movement. Some of you will need to walk away from environments draining your soul. Some of you will need to trust opportunities that initially feel unfamiliar. Some of you will need to stop minimizing yourselves to protect the comfort of others. And that transition may feel uncomfortable at first, but discomfort is temporary. Alignment is lasting. Do not leave now. Because the final revelation is approaching, and it will explain why this exact moment found you when it did. Nothing about tonight was accidental. Out of all the moments this message could have reached you, it found you now. At the exact point where your spirit was growing tired of carrying a life that no longer reflected your true value. That timing matters, because heaven speaks differently when a person is finally ready to move. And whether you fully realize it yet or not, movement has already begun inside you. Stay until the end, because this final revelation may become the turning point your spirit remembers for years. You kept asking heaven for signs while ignoring the transformation already happening within yourself. But look at who you have become. You are not the same person who tolerated disrespect silently. You are not the same person who doubted every instinct. You are not the same person who believed survival was enough. Something changed, your standards changed, your awareness changed, your vision changed. And once vision expands, old environments start feeling impossible to remain inside comfortably. That discomfort was never failure, it was awakening. Do not scroll, because many people spend their entire lives ignoring the voice trying to lead them into alignment. They silence it with fear, they bury it beneath routine. You trade purpose for temporary comfort, but your spirit kept resisting. Even when you tried to settle, something inside you kept whispering, there is more, there is better. You were not meant to stay here forever. That whisper was truth, and now heaven is pulling the curtain back so you can finally understand why your path unfolded the way it did. Listen carefully. The delays taught you endurance. The disappointments taught you discernment. The isolation taught you identity. The pressure taught you strength. You thought you were losing time, but heaven was building capacity, because the opportunities approaching your life now require a version of you stronger than the one that entered the struggle. And that stronger version exists now. You survived things that should have broken you. You endured seasons that should have emptied you. You carried responsibilities while secretly fighting exhaustion. Yet somehow you are still here. That is not weakness. That is proof heaven sustained you for a reason. Type, I was being prepared, in the comments if you believe your struggles were shaping you for a greater future. Your spirit needs to hear this clearly tonight. You are not behind. Read that again. You are not behind. Comparison distorted your perspective. Watching others advance distorted your confidence. Waiting distorted your understanding of your own progress. But heaven never measured your journey against theirs. Different assignments require different preparation. And the depth of your preparation reveals the weight of what you are about to carry. Do not leave before the end, because this next truth may be the confirmation your heart has needed for a long time. The life you are stepping into will demand authenticity. No more shrinking. No more pretending. No more apologizing for the size of your vision. The future opening before you requires the real version of you, the bold version, the healed version, the aligned version. And yes, stepping into that identity may terrify you at first, because growth always stretches the person becoming it, but your spirit already knows remaining the same is no longer possible. You can feel the transition. The fear is losing control. The confusion is fading. The clarity is increasing. And deep down, you know something powerful is approaching your life. That knowing is real. Do not scroll, because this is the part many people miss. Breakthrough often begins internally before it appears externally. First, the mindset changes, then the identity changes, then the decisions change, then the life changes, and tonight your internal shift has already started. The old mentality is breaking apart. The mindset that accepted being undervalued is collapsing. The belief that you had to struggle endlessly just to survive is losing power. Why? Because your spirit is remembering who you are. You were never created to live disconnected from purpose. You were never meant to bury your gifts permanently. You were never assigned to spend your life trapped inside cycles smaller than your calling. Heaven planted something greater inside you, and now it is rising. Stay until the end, because the final truth is the most important one of all. Everything you survived was producing this moment. Every closed door, every painful goodbye, every exhausting season, every silent prayer, every hidden tear, it all led here not to destroy you, but to reveal you. The person emerging from this season is stronger than the one who entered it. Wiser, sharper, more aligned, more aware of their worth. And that person is ready now, ready for aligned opportunities, ready for healthier environments, ready for recognition that no longer requires begging, ready for provision connected to peace instead of constant survival. This is your transition season. The old chapter is ending, and heaven is inviting you into something greater. So before this message ends, make this declaration with confidence. I will never settle beneath my purpose again. It in the comments, declare it over your future. Let your spirit hear your own agreement, because tonight was not merely inspiration, it was confirmation. Your season of being overlooked is ending. And the life waiting ahead of you is bigger than anything your fear tried to convince you was possible.